Welcome to the program, everyone. Support comes from ZBiotics. And let's be honest, after a night with drinks, I don't bounce back the way that I used to. I've learned that I usually have to choose a great night or a great next day. That was the deal. That was until I found ZBiotics pre-alcohol. ZBiotics is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic created by PhD scientists to help you feel better the morning after drinking. This is how it works. When you drink, alcohol turns into a toxic byproduct right in your gut. It is that buildup. It is not dehydration. That is what causes those rough mornings. ZBiotics produces an enzyme that breaks it down. So I take pre-alcohol before my first drink, usually a cocktail with friends. I drink responsibly. And then the next morning, I actually feel clear, focused, and human again. So make it your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and feel your best tomorrow. So go to zbiotics.com/lemon. Use the code LEMON for 15% off of your first order. It's backed by 100% money back guarantee. That's zbiotics.com/lemon. Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you? Look at Boomer back there sleeping. Boomer, are you going to say hi today? Hi, Boomer. What you doing? He loves to lay back there. I love being with them. Hi, Boomy. Hi, baby. If I had a dog toy, he is such a boy. He loves to chase things. I'm not going to throw it, but like if you do a doggy toy back there, he's going to chase it. He's going to grab it. And he's going to bring it back to me. And then Barkley just goes, whatever. So anyway, welcome to the program, everybody. Good morning. Oh, I forgot to turn one of my lights on. Stand by 1 second. Hi, Boomer. I see your tail wagging. There we go. Anyways, the lighting person would be like, you didn't have the light on. Anyway, so hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. It is Friday. I see New Orleans, Louisiana in the chat. Let me know where you are. Don't lie to me. Did you guys hit the thumbs up yet? Thank you for member who says Epstein. Thank you. Welcome to all of our new members. Yeah, what is it? Adonelium. I think that's what it is. Anyways, it's hard to tell in there, but welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. Peace, warmth, security to my Lemon Nation. I agree. So Lemon Nation, hello, North Carolina. Hello, everyone. First order of business, California in the house. Boomer is the vibe, someone says. So first order of business, you guys know what that is. That is to hit the thumbs up, hit the likes, because it affects the algorithm. More people become aware of our content, our program, our conversation, our lives, because we're the live thing. We're blazing a live trail here. Someone said you look rested. I don't know if I look rested, but I did one of my favorite things last night, and you guys won't know what that is. No, I just went. Tim and I went. We had date night, and we just went to a local wing place, like the sports bar, and we had wings, and I had a nice Stella, a couple of drafts, like 2. Tim is doing dry January, so he had a Diet Coke, but we had wings and fries, and we had some it's like they were dumplings, but they were like Philly cheesesteak dumplings. This is interesting. Anyway, so we went, and it was a nice little evening out before the big snowstorm comes this weekend. We have a big snowstorm coming. You guys probably have one too. Before we get to that, again, have you hit the thumbs up? Please hit the thumbs up. We appreciate it. It affects the algorithm. I have a lot to talk about this morning, as I'm sure you are well aware of. But first of all, I just want to tell you this. If you are, we'll do it at the beginning and at the end, because I think this is important. We were nominated for, if you go to donlemon.com, right? I want you to do this. Go to donlemon.com, and at the top, we're nominated for 4 NAACP Image Awards. And you can, it's very simple the way we have it set up for you. So you can do number 1. If you go on number 1, you can click on that. Click on the first one, and it's like easy, step by step. You click on the first one, and then see, I think after 24 hours, you can vote again. All right. So then see what we did there, and then you vote, and then you go back to the donlemon.com and you hit number 2. And then you go there and you vote for us in that category. Back to donlemon.com. And then you hit number 3. And then vote right there. And then you go to donlemon.com again and you hit number 4. And then you vote there. And then you go back to donlemon.com. You hit the 5. And then scroll all the way back, all the way down to the bottom. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there is a button that says submit now. And then boom, you're done. It may ask you for some information. Fill that out to make sure that your vote register. So that's it. It's just that easy. All you have to do is go and do that stuff, and just go to donlemon.com at the top, and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do. It just, you don't have to do anything but just follow the instructions. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you, every day, I think every 24 hours it switches and you can vote again. Okay. Also, I want to tell you guys, then we're about to start doing press and stuff for it. But before we start doing that and it starts to sell out, because we did some press in Atlanta, we had never been there before. And so it was untested. So we did some press there and everything sold out in Atlanta for DL and DL. Anything goes on February 17th and 18th in Atlanta, sold out. Get on the waiting list if you want. And then February 2nd and 3rd here in New York, not sold out because we didn't do any press because we have done New York before. So get your tickets to these 2 shows at City Winery in New York City at the top of donlemon.com. Anything goes, and it's going to be amazing. We switched the show up a little bit. We got some great special guests that you're going to love to see. Okay, so good morning. Let's get to the news. And I just want to show you this image that I'm sure you've seen and that everybody is discussing, and for which I believe there is no excuse for. Okay. Let's look at this. I've been thinking about this little kid all night. If I could, I would adopt him. His parents need someone to, if he needs a shelter or somewhere to come for safekeeping. I'm serious. Come on. Send him here. We will spoil this kid. He gets to play with the dogs. We'll make sure he's enrolled in school. Like, he's going to get the cute clothes that he has on right there. He'll get more of that. We will take care of this kid if you need it, family. Ramos family. I'm not kidding. All right. So 5-year-old Liam Ramos. I mean, look at that face. Look at that. He's just a little kid. And you guys remember, I actually remember, being that old. I mean, that young and going off to school. And I didn't want to go to school. And I had my backpack that everybody said was bigger than me, except I had on a uniform. He may have a uniform under that. I had on my khaki pants and white shirt from St. Francis Xavier School. But I mean, look at this little sweet kid with the little ears. I don't know if it's rabbit or doggy ears on his cute little, I mean, just adorable. What are we doing, America? And this is, and you can't see his face there, but show his he's out there. Everyone is showing his face. We talked about it, but let's show the other photographs. Look, it's adorable. Look at those cheeks. He's a cute little boy. We have another picture of him. You can show, oh God, breaks my heart. I don't want to start crying early in the morning, but I mean, come on, America. Come on, Trump administration. What are you guys doing? Could you guys just please stop? ICE detains a 5-year-old and father in Minnesota. That's what the lawyer says. The administration is saying they didn't detain him. Yeah, if you take him, you took him into custody. So we're going to talk about all that, but I have a few things to say before we get to all of that. So again, thank you for your support. Like and thumbs up. Become a member. Subscriptions are free. You can click on subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. Click on subscribe, or you can go to donlemon.com. If you go back, Andy, because I think it's important for people to know this. If you go back out to donlemon.com real quickly, and you go to the main page, you click on the YouTube button, which looks like a play button or an arrow, and then you can subscribe there, and it is free. Subscriptions are free, and also you can become a member there as well. If you are already a member, what you can do is gift, like Beth Collier just did, because of Beth's generosity. 20 people get to become members of Elimination. I think I've seen Beth and others do like 50 before. They're just amazing people. Thank you so much, Beth Collier. I appreciate your support. Beth Collier has been here since day one. Day one. And she's been with the Elimination Lemon family. We've met. Yes. So anyways, she's a legend. She's amazing. Okay, so let's get to the program. So I have a few things to say, and then we'll get to all of that. And by the way, you can follow us on, if you go to donlemon.com, you can follow us on any of those platforms. You can subscribe on any of those platforms. Twitch.tv/donlemon. You can subscribe also on Substack. And thank you for watching us on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Substack, Twitch. I think that's it, right? And then, of course, we're on iHeart Radio, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify as well. Okay, so let's get to it. So look, I just want to talk to you for a minute, because every once in a while, something really cuts through all this crazy madness, cuts through the noise. And it's not because it's complicated or because it needs debate, like, or a panel. I get, I hate those panels where everybody's fighting and debating, but because it's really just simple. If you're really just kind of forced to stop and really take a look at what is happening. And I think this is one of those moments right now with this 5-year-old kid. And we were debating, is he a baby? Yeah, he's a baby. He's a child. We would call him a baby. He's technically not, but you know what I mean. Coming home from preschool in Minnesota, backpack on his back. He's probably thinking, you can put his picture up if you want, the little cute one by the car. He's probably thinking about, like, while he's doing this, he's thinking about snacks or maybe a nap, or he wants to play on the iPad, or maybe he's just thinking about nothing at all. Because, that's what 5-year-olds get to do. Cartoons. It could be anything that he's thinking about. Mom and Dad, I want to go to McDonald's, whatever. 5-year-olds get to think about nothing. I wish I could just think about nothing, And federal immigration agents pick him up. And so I don't want to soften that. And I don't want to clean it up, because they pick him up. They detain him. And according to school officials and people who were there, not these pundits, not the commentators, these were people on the ground. These are not, and this is not what the Trump administration is saying, right? Well, we were so loving with him. They didn't just take the child. They allegedly used him to try to get other people to come out of the house. They were using him as leverage, as a bartering tool. Now, that's according to the people on the ground. I don't need to dramatize any of that. If that is true, then that speaks for itself. They use this child as leverage. And even if you say ICE disputes that, okay, fine. Strip it all the way down to the bare minimum. A 5-year-old ended up in federal custody. For what? For a man coming home from work or picking up his kid from school. And then you call him an illegal alien. Now, I don't know. I need to look more into it, but is he? And they keep using that. Let me just say this. They keep using that phrase illegal alien, and they say it as if it's like a pejorative. Can we take that phrase back like we did some other phrases or something? Can we make that phrase cool? Because they'll stop using it then. Because it's not illegal. They're undocumented. It's not like they're ET. They're not from Mars. They're from the same planet. They're not aliens. But a 5-year-old in federal custody should be okay. Stop right there. Because if that doesn't stop us anymore, then we're not debating immigration policy. We're not arguing about borders or paperwork. We're talking about who we are willing to get hurt who are we willing to get at or to hurt, to get hurt in the process, in the name of law and order or picking up we are the immigrant-free, close the border nation. Like, what are we doing? Is it that important? And before I go on, is the whole thing about the whole illegal alien thing, and I say they're undocumented immigrants. And at one point I would say illegal aliens, right? But this years and years ago, and then someone hit me to it, like they're not from the planet Mars or anything like that. But they use that as a pejorative because they think it sounds cute and it makes them sound more dangerous. Stop criminalizing immigrants. Stop criminalizing immigrants. Immigrants, legal, documented, whatever you want to call them, they actually provide a service, and they actually help to improve the economy, because many of them, if not most of them, pay into a system for which they get nothing. Healthcare, no tax benefits, none of that. Because their employers need to identify them, and they pay into a system. Many of them do. They provide services that Americans don't want to do. They take jobs that Americans don't want to do. There is a way to incorporate them into a system and not to make it so hard that they have to jump through hoops or backwards, spend all of their savings, and that they don't have to do that. Yes, we need comprehensive immigration reform, and we can do that. But I don't believe the way to do that is to chase a 5-year-old's father as he is coming home from school or his job, someone who is just out there doing that. I don't believe that. And even if this person, if you think that they are somehow a danger or whatever, you know where they live because you're at his house or near his house. You don't have to do that. You can figure out a way to be humane about it. And so this is why this story matters even more to me, because this didn't happen by itself. It didn't come out of nowhere. This is happening in the same moment where federal agents recently, I don't know if you guys remember this, went to the wrong house looking for someone who wasn't even there. Now get this. Not only wasn't there the person they were supposedly looking for, that person was already in prison. That person was already locked up, reportedly, from the reports. That's what they say, already accounted for from the reports. And instead of slowing down, instead of checking, instead of saying, hold on, they just went in anyway. And, that's what I've been seeing when I'm out there. They don't, and that's what I've been hearing out there, is that they don't care how many papers you have. They don't care what you look like. The folks out there say they are going after Black and brown people. The folks out there are saying they're asking in Minnesota, where are the Black people? This is a case where they busted, I'm telling you about, into the house, and then they dragged the man out, barely dressed. Did you see that? Andy, do we have that? Do you remember that? If we can find that. I don't know if you guys remember that, but they busted. I think I sent a clip to you guys. If I didn't, did I send it? Do you have it?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I think I sent a clip to you guys. But anyway, there was, I think it was the last thing. I'll send it to you again. So stand by, because I just want to do this because I want you to see the thing that I am talking about here. This will just take a second. Pardon me for that. Excuse me. This will just take 1 second. Or maybe it won't, because I can't find it. Okay. Oh, yeah, I have it. Where is it? I think this is it. Let's see. No, that's not it. I can't find it. But anyways, you guys know the thing I'm talking about. So this is the guy was barely dressed. I think they pulled him out of the shower. His family was screaming. The kids are watching from inside the house, trying to understand why there were armed agents that were suddenly in their living room. Wrong house, wrong person. But the terror and the fear are really, really real. And when they finally realize that they made a mistake, it's not that they could undo the damage somehow, that they apologize or that they gave the family some sort of restitution or whatever, because you can't really undo that. You can't unscare a child. You can't unsee your father or your grandfather or your uncle or whoever, your brother, being dragged out of the house. You can't unsee that. So they just left. And so that is what the people in Minnesota are reacting to there. And then, the Trump folks coming, look, the reason the Trump people are coming in town, why Pam Bondi is there and whoever, I don't know if Kristi Noem is there and JD Vance, because they know that they're effing up. They know that public sentiment is not there. They know that these agents are doing lawless things. Lawless. So the reason that people are reacting is not politics, it's not ideology, it's that they feel that power is moving fast and sloppy. And that they don't care who gets hurt as long as the operation keeps moving. They don't care how bad it is. They don't care how bad it looks. As long as the operation keeps moving. And what is it doing? It's not helping the economy. It's not helping local businesses. People are afraid to show up to work. Even people who are documented, even people who were born here and who just happen to fit the description. So if you think people are not paying attention, I want you to just peruse online. Take a look at some of the videos coming out of Minnesota right now. We should have some of those of people just being stalked, and of parents and teachers and neighbors, regular people holding their phones. They're not yelling, they're not chanting. They're just saying that we can't pretend that this isn't happening. Is there some yelling in some places? Absolutely. Is there some chanting in some places? Absolutely. First Amendment rights. But people cannot believe this is happening. You see parents saying that their kids are scared to go to school. Teachers are saying that they're trying to calm classrooms down. People are saying that they don't even answer their doors anymore. When we were in Minnesota, the Smitten Kitten, right? The adult store there said that they were giving some of their profits to help the people who are being snatched up or who are afraid to leave their homes, who are not going to work. They were saying that they were going to help them with rent and with buying groceries and giving some away. So none of that sounds radical to me. Nobody sounds extreme to me in this. What do they say? What is it? A riot or protest is the voice of the unheard? They sound like people who know something is off. And they sound like brave people who are able to sacrifice something in order to combat injustice, inhumanity, unconstitutionality of all of this. And I want to say this really, really clearly because this always gets twisted. I have been covering law enforcement and government power for a very long time. I have been in this so-called business since 1991 or so. In the 1990s, in the 1900s, as the kids say. Since 1991, I've been covering this, around that time. So I know, and I have made so many relationships with law enforcement and the FBI. Look, every place that I went to in the local market, I would start a franchise called whatever that I started, because when I was in New York, I would help my anchor. My anchor was John Rowland. I worked at Channel 5, who was the Fox station in New York. John Rowland had a segment called New York's Most Wanted, and I would help to produce that segment, that franchise, every week or however many times that he did it. I had to come up with the mug shots and get, set up the what agency he was going to interview and what the story was going to look like. And then when I became a reporter and anchor on my own, I went to Alabama and I proposed Alabama's Most Wanted. Guess what? It was really successful. I had so many contacts with the FBI. Everything that went down, FBI and police, I knew before anybody. Alabama's Most Wanted. Then I went to St. Louis. St. Louis Most Wanted. Then I went to Philadelphia. Philadelphia's Most Wanted. All of them, every single place, contacts, FBI agents, police officers, all types of agents, all of them. Oh my God, Don, you're a great guy. You're solving crime. Thank you for helping us do this. Every single place. So I am not opposed to law enforcement. We need law enforcement, but we need them to abide by the rules. And the people who I worked with, those FBI agents, they were people of integrity. They followed the Constitution, due process. So I know that there are agents who take their job seriously. I know there are people wearing badges who don't want to be the face of this. But systems don't get judged. You're not judging by intentions. You get judged by what you allow, what you see, the actions that you actually do. And what's being allowed right now is kids being caught up in the middle of this. Families that are being shaken and torn apart. Communities feeling like anything can happen at any time. That little 5-year-old boy is going to remember this. He's at an age where he can remember. Does anybody remember their first memory? Let me know in the chat. Does anybody remember their first memory? I remember my first memory, or my first series of memories. I remember I was sitting at the table, and maybe it's like when all of a sudden when you become aware, like when your brain, whatever, I don't know if you guys realize that. I was sitting at my grandmother's kitchen table in one of those with the old Formica tops and I don't know if it was plastic or resin chairs. They were yellow. The tabletop was white and had yellow trim. And my grandmother had these white metal cabinets in her kitchen. And then the old big white stove with the burners on it and the oven that you could hear. You guys know what I'm talking about. And my grandmother, I remember my first memory was standing behind me, like right here, on the phone, a yellow phone that she had in the kitchen that had a really long cord on it where you could walk around the house and it would wrap around or whatever, and she'd be on the phone, and she was talking on the phone. And I remember I said, "Can I go to the bathroom?" And my grandmother said, "What? Of course you can go to the bathroom." So I think it was when I first awakened or became aware as a human being. And I said, "Can I go to the bathroom?" And she said, "Of course." And somehow she didn't have to tell me. I just remember where the bathroom was and I walked. And that was my first memory. And then another memory was my grandmother at that same phone talking to people. And because she would serve us lunch or breakfast or whatever. And I would always spill something. And I remember I spilled my milk. And my grandmother came over to clean it up. And they said, "Boy, you're always dropping something," or whatever. And so those are my first memories. And I must have been 3. So I know a 5-year-old is going to remember. He's not going to remember the politics. He's not going to remember the arguments. He's going to remember that feeling as a kid. He's going to remember the confusion, the moment when the adults with authority didn't feel safe, didn't make him feel safe. Now, I was sitting there with my grandmother and my sisters because she was our babysitter. Back then, that was the nanny, the grandmother, while mom was at work. Those people made me feel safe. I can't imagine being that little boy that's like, who is making him feel safe? Everything is unfamiliar. The man dragged out of the wrong house is going to remember that too. His family's going to remember that. His neighbors are going to remember that. And this is how trust breaks. Not all at once, slowly. And it's happening now. And people are suddenly becoming aware. But I have been on this channel preaching about this since the very beginning of this whole ICE and federal agents thing. Slowly, incident by incident by incident by incident, door by door. That's when it starts to fail. And I keep coming back to this because I don't think that it's radical at all. I think it is very basic that 5-year-olds should not be a part of enforcement operations. Wrong houses should not be treated like they're acceptable mistakes. Fear should not be a strategy to make people afraid. And so that's not left, that's not right, that's human. So I want to ask you something very serious, okay? If a 5-year-old can be taken after preschool, then what is the line? Where do we draw the line? If federal agents can go to the wrong house and then drag the wrong man or woman or person, whatever, child out, terrify the wrong family, then what is the line? Because somebody decided that that kid was acceptable collateral. Somebody decided that a busted down door was just a mistake. Somebody decided fear was an okay side effect. Somebody decided that because they just want their operation to proceed, that they could ruin the life at this point of a 5-year-old and of that family. Then you are right, Grace Goss. You never forget how someone makes you feel. I want to know when that became normal. That we accept that in the United States to do that to a kid and a family. Because if your answer is it doesn't affect me, let me tell y'all something. That's how it always starts. It never starts at your front door. It starts somewhere else with someone else until it doesn't. And if your answer is that, it's just the law, then ask yourself, who is being protected by the law and who is being swallowed up by it? 5-year-olds don't get to argue their case. Families in the wrong house don't get a do-over. Kids don't forget fear just because adults call it policy. They don't forget that. So no, I'm not confused about this, and I'm not neutral about this fake both sides thing and what the other. Wrong is wrong. Some things are objectively wrong. And you've got to bring it to light as a journalist and as American citizens. You've got to fight for people to do the right thing if you see something is wrong. If this doesn't bother you, then you need to think about yourself. You need to do some serious self-reflection. Because once we decide that this is acceptable, the line doesn't move, that line disappears. And we are, I keep saying, in some very dangerous territory right now. We are in dangerous waters right now. We are allowing these things to happen, and we have people who don't care. They care about them. They are the cruelest people that I have seen in power in all of my years. And this will affect you, even if you don't think it is right now. When did we decide that this was okay for people to do that? That's why people are protesting. That's why people are so angry. And this administration is more upset and wanting to investigate protesters than they are with investigating the death of a woman. The untimely and unjust death of a woman who was killed by an agent who was not properly trained. And by all indications of the reports that we have in the investigating that we have so far, that this person was not run over by a car. And from the reports and the investigations that we have so far of just people doing it independently, the shots were fired not from in front of a car. And the training says you're not supposed to put yourself in harm's way in front of a car. So why isn't that being investigated? Why is the conversation around the church protests, why isn't it about the pastor's relationship to ICE? Is that problematic for their tax-free status? Are they somehow promoting that in the church? Is that part of their sermons? Is it part of their doctrine? I don't know, but I think it should be investigated. What is it if you have someone who is there and you are a preacher and a pastor? Should that not be the story rather than some people who went into the church and using what they believe were their First Amendment rights? I have not seen ever, and I've been here on this earth since the 60s. I have not seen a perfect protest. Just like the people in the churches are not perfect, the reason that they're there confessing their sins to the Lord is because they're not perfect. The protesters aren't perfect either. We're all human beings. We all make mistakes. And if you are a God-fearing person, Trump administration officials, repent of your sins. Say that you're sorry and this is wrong. Confess your sins to your Lord. That you are treating people cruelly and inhumanely, and you're not doing what the tenets of religion compels you to do. To help the sick and feed the hungry. To look out and help the least of these. To love your enemy. To turn the other cheek. To love your neighbor. That is not what you're doing at all. And on top of that, you're not abiding by the Constitution. So if you're not doing what that says, that means you're not a Christian, or you're a fake Christian, or you're a fake whatever it is that your religion is. It's fake. A word from our sponsors. The Don Lemon Show is brought to you by the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Now, I've said this before, equality under the law only works when the government stays neutral. The First Amendment wasn't written to protect one religion, it was written to protect all of us. So right now, that promise is under threat from Christian nationalists who believe that their beliefs should control everyone's lives in schools and hospitals and in our laws. The Freedom from Religion Foundation is pushing back on that, defending students, families, and communities from religious coercion. So if you believe freedom means freedom for everyone, join them. Visit ffrf.us/New Year, or you can text Don to 511-511. That's F as in Frank, F as in Frank, R as in Robert, F as in Frank, .us/New Year, or text Don to 511-511. Text fees may apply. Support for the show comes from Shopify. When I started the Don Lemon Show, I had to figure out everything: scripts, filming, schedules, branding, all at once. It was overwhelming. And when you're building something new, the to-do list never stops growing. It never ends, everyone. That's where Shopify comes in. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses worldwide and about 10% of all e-commerce in the US. Now, we use Shopify right here at the Don Lemon Show to bring you the merch that you love, that you asked for. I didn't want, but now I love it just like you do. So you don't need to know how to design a website. Shopify gives you beautiful, ready-to-go templates. Their built-in AI tools help with product descriptions, images, and discounts, and they help you find customers with easy email and social campaigns. So if you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/lemon. That's shopify.com/lemon. I love that ka-ching sound. Shopify.com/lemon. Okay, thank you to all of our sponsors. Now, let's give you some of the evidence just to show you some of the things we're talking about, okay? So we showed you what the reports about ICE detaining a 5-year-old boy, okay? His name is Liam Ramos. And this is video of them when they were doing it. Is that necessary? Is any of this necessary? Is all of that necessary? There are ways to do this. You know, the person who deported the most people, I'm not sure where we are on that, but that's Barack Obama. Not this way. Not this way. Because Barack Obama, the Obama administration, had professionals, adults, serious people. This administration, not professional, not adult, not serious. And I'm going to show you how they're not serious. I'll show you in a moment about how, because of the things that they're posting, which really undercuts any credibility that they have. This is Minnesota Representative Angie Craig, who is outraged by this story.
So now ICE is using a 5-year-old boy. A 5-year-old boy. They took him and used him to lure his father out. And now they've detained them both. The family doesn't know where they are. This is the worst of the damn worst. This is not humanity in Minnesota, folks. If you can look at this 5-year-old and actually with a straight face still support and be silent in the face of what the Trump administration and Kristi Noem is doing, I just can't even believe this is America. I will not vote for a damn penny to Kristi Noem or ICE in this Congress. This is a time where we should all be outraged. If this doesn't pierce through your humanity as a Republican member of Congress, you can't speak out about this, then you've got no humanity left.
Now, look, producers, jump in here and correct me if I'm wrong. Was it 8 or 7 Democrats who voted for ICE funding? Do you guys remember that? So it's on, do a fact check on that for me. So look, I appreciate her sentiment, but when people were saying, don't open the government back up, and, you know, for a couple of different issues that are all not the same, there are not the same issues. When people said, stick your ground, the Republicans don't care. They're not going to come back and do health care. The promise that they made you, they're not going to do it. They don't care. Okay, where are we? Do we have the subsidies yet, America? And didn't these Democrats cross the line? Because I don't know why. I think they voted to fund ICE.
It was 7 Democrats.
7 Democrats. A small group of Dems look to break from their party on ICE funding. Can you scroll through this, please? Kind of late now. Kind of late now. Keep scrolling through. Do they name them? We'll figure it out. We'll get some more stuff. Oh, there it is. I think that's it. Is that it? If you back up a little bit, Andy, let's see what that is. Because there's so much that comes through this. Susie Lee of Nevada, Adam Gray, several other swing district members. These are people who are in swing districts, and I guess they need it in order to stay in office. But they said Thursday morning that they remain undecided leading up to the vote later that afternoon. So apparently these guys did.
The names of the Democrats are in the chat. Our group
Names
text, if you want to
of
look.
the Democrats are in the chat. And
Yes, I sent it in the text chat.
Thank you. These are the Democrats. I have a great team. Representative Jared Golden of Maine. I remember this. Glusenkamp Perez of Washington. Henry Cuellar of Texas. Don Davis of North Carolina. Vicente Gonzalez of Texas. Tom Swoosie of New York. And Laura Gillen of New York. So Republicans are to blame, but Democrats as well. And this is why I say Democrats need to be stronger, because we're not playing in this isn't 1990s. This isn't even 2021 politics. This isn't 2024 politics. This is a whole nother level, other level. So this isn't about you keeping your position or getting primaried. It's like, okay, if you get primaried, fine. But have some balls and stand for something. Be willing to sacrifice something. And sometimes that is what your livelihood is at the moment. And that maybe that means that you're not in the right position if you can't stand the heat for this. But as usual, the Trump administration making excuses for bad behavior. And just remember in all of this, it's tough to believe any of these people, if they have any credibility at all. They don't have any credibility at all, because Donald Trump lies and they think it's okay for them to lie, and they obfuscate and they embellish. So here's the vice president talking about the little boy.
Oh my God, this is terrible. How did we arrest a 5-year-old? Well, I do a little bit more follow-up research. And what I find is that the...
Nobody said arrest. Nobody said the kid was arrested. Again, one of those words like illegal aliens, that phrase. Nobody said the kid was arrested. Go on.
5-year-old was not arrested, that his dad was an illegal alien. And then when they went to arrest his illegal alien father...
was an undocumented immigrant. Keep going.
The father ran. So the story is that ICE detained a 5-year-old. Well, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death? Are they not supposed to arrest an illegal alien in the United States of America? If the argument is that you can't arrest people who have violated our laws because they have children, then every single parent is going to be completely given immunity from ever being the subject of law enforcement. That doesn't make any sense. No one thinks that makes any sense.
Okay, what he said didn't make any sense either. None of that makes sense. Because look, here's the way to do it. If you're not a cruel person, if cruelty is not the intention, if you're not trying to be cruel and embarrass people and make examples of them, here's what you do. Mr. Ramos, we know where you are. We know that you have a family. We know that you are working. You need to correct your citizenship status. And these are the steps that you need to take. And if you don't take those steps, we're coming after you. Not rounding someone up off the streets. There's a way to do it where you don't. And oh my God, if you have any humanity, I don't think any member of law enforcement other than these goons, if you see someone with their 5-year-old kid, they're going to say, stand down for now. Track him to see where he goes and where he lives. We don't have to chase him out here on the streets. It's snowy. He slide. Tensions are high right now. He's with his kid. Let's just chill for a minute. Come on now. Where's the lie? Must you do that? Just because you can do something, it doesn't mean that you have to. That didn't make any sense, JD Vance. I love what this, someone made a painting of Liam Ramos. And can you put it up on the screen? Someone did a painting of him. Cute, right? Do we know who that's by, guys?
I'm not sure.
The name is on there, but I can't read it. I mean, because it's in cursive, but it looks like Don or Dan something. Ah, heartbreaking. I mean, just heartbreaking. Just because you can do it, it doesn't mean that you have to do it. A 5-year-old boy. So this is the Department of Homeland Security spokesperson, Tricia McLaughlin. She's a piece of work. Tries to spin the Ramos story. Here it is.
State. This, of course, as the legacy media tries to invent a controversy accusing ICE of detaining a 5-year-old boy. I mean, it just amazes me, Tricia, that you're dealing with all the real world.
Did you say the legacy media? What does Newsmax think they are? A blog? Independent? Like Newsmax. Wake up call. You're the legacy media. You operate just like any other. You operate just like CNN, MSNBC, Fox. You're all are on TV. You are the legacy media. It's one of those again, one of those phrases. It's like a catchphrase. Newsflash. Dun, 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 breaking news, Newsmax, you are the legacy media. Now, you may not be part of the respected legacy media. You're biased but you don't hide it. So, at least you are transparent about that. But go on.
Challenges of this issue, and you got to spend time pushing back and trying to respond to fake narratives about ICE detaining a 5-year-old boy when the facts just don't show it.
No, the facts don't show it at all, and this is a horrific smear that we're seeing the mainstream media and politicians on the left, including Kamala Harris, run with. The facts are actually...
Who are they smearing specifically? What's the smear? Who are they smearing? Just by telling a story. And you are part of the administration. You have the bully pulpit. You can change and correct any narrative or speak out about it or whatever. You can change what's happening in Minnesota and elsewhere. You can change a lot of things. But rather than do that, you would like to get on television and try to make excuses and to give red meat to your base about something. We don't like. Most people would say, look, we don't like this. We don't want this to. Most administrations would say, we don't, it's awful and it should not have been handled that way. And we're so sorry that the agents handled it that way. It doesn't mean that we're going to stop our operations, but we're going to make sure that people do things humanely. And we're going to understand that every case is different. Not everybody should be run up on and tackled and beaten up and abused. That's not everyone should do that, be treated that way. So they need to take circumstances under advisory. That's like when people do, we're not going to go here because it's too hot. We're not going to go to this location because there's too many people there. We're not going to go to this location. There's too many civilians and we're going to they're going to be in danger. How about we're not going to do that because the man is with his child and we know where he is? And there are other ways to make him aware of the severity of the situation, where we don't have to look like thugs. Keep going.
That this little boy was abandoned by his own father. His own father was being approached by ICE agents when he ran and abandoned the child. Our law enforcement in these frigid temperatures stayed with the child.
You were chasing the man to detain him and deport him. What did you think he was going to do? What is wrong with you, lady? What would you do if someone was chasing you down on the street? What would you do? These people go on. I want to
tried to bring him into custody with the mother, who actually would not take the child into custody, which is so sad, so horrific. Our law enforcement officers actually were taking care of the child, brought him to McDonald's, were playing his favorite music to really calm him down. This is, as Mark, there's major riots forming around our law enforcement officers. That is horrendous that the child is having to face this, but our law enforcement officers were taking care of him, and he's now reunited with his father in a federal processing facility.
And it's important to note that this morning, wind chills were in -50 there. And this man left his child out on the frigid cold streets. As you said, that's the real story, but not the one you'll hear on other media outlets.
And ma'am, the real story is, why are you chasing this man in the frigid cold weather? It's exactly what I was saying. Everything is, it should be taken on its own merit, every case. So it is freezing out here. What happens when we take this man from this little boy? I mean, oh my God, you people are so stupid. They are so blinded and biased by their ideology that they can't see and think straight. It's crazy. We're going to hear from Dan Bovino. Is it Greg Bovino or whatever, the head of this whole ICE thing, or Border Patrol? But first, let me get a word in from our sponsors. This episode of the Don Lemon Show is brought to you by Graza. Graza. Everyone knows that I love cooking for friends. And lately, what's taken my food to the next level is Graza olive oil. It's my go-to. It's fresh, it's flavorful, it's extra virgin olive oil at an everyday price. Graza picks, presses, and bottles their olives in the same season. And you can see the harvest date because it's right on the bottle. They have 2 oils that I always keep on hand. Sizzle is perfect for cooking, roasting, sauteing, all of it. Drizzle is bold and punchy, great for salads, bread, or finishing a dish. Now, I like to host a lot, and quality olive oil matters to me. You can taste the difference, and honestly, the bottles look great on the counter too. So get 20% off of your first order at graza.co with the code LEMON. I recommend the duo, sizzle and drizzle together. That's Graza, Graza.co. Use the code LEMON. This episode of the Don Lemon Show is sponsored by BetterHelp. A new year doesn't require a new you. Sometimes it just means a less burdened you. Therapy can help you sort through what's been weighing on you, your stress, your relationships, your patterns, in a clear, supportive space. BetterHelp makes it easy. Their therapists are fully licensed, carefully vetted, and matched to you through a simple questionnaire. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch at any time. With 30,000 therapists and more than 5 million people served, BetterHelp is one of the largest online therapy platforms in the world. Their live sessions average a 4.9 out of 5 rating, so people are finding real help there. So get matched with a qualified therapist and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/Don Lemon. That's better, BetterHelp.com/Don Lemon. Thanks to our sponsors. BetterHelp, betterhelp.com/Don Lemon. Okay, so thank you to all of our sponsors. Okay, so let me play. This is Greg Bovino responding to Liam Ramos.
They want illegal immigrants out, but seeing that little boy with his blue hat just standing there in the snow, it breaks anybody's heart, doesn't it?
Sure, and I think the vice president did a very good job today of detailing that, but dialing that back to what this mission is really about, because I think Americans also don't like to see the Jacqueline Nungares, the Molly Tibbetts, the Kate Steinleys, the Officer Sings, and the thousands of other Americans that are hurt, maimed, and killed by this criminal illegal aliens almost daily in this country. But here's the difference: is you're talking about sausage being made. That sausage is not being made by a vast majority of the news media. You guys do a great job, Fox, and some of the others, but the vast majority do not. So when we're talking about sausage being made, it's not being made.
What? wait a minute. Sorry, did I miss something? Team, did I miss something? If you're talking about sausage being made, it's not being made. Did you guys? I don't know if did y'all understand that?
No, I didn't.
That's the only Bavina. I think those two sound bites that we have in the notes that's the same sound bite, right?
No, there's one more at a press conference.
One more, and he talks about sausage being made at that one too?
Oh, no, he doesn't.
Okay.
But he talks about Liam.
Yeah. Okay, let's listen.
And then final question, do you have any moral or ethical qualms about detaining a 5-year-old on his way back from preschool?
Be more specific.
Liam Ramos from the Columbia Heights School District, do you have any moral or ethical qualms about that?
We conduct legal, ethical, and moral law enforcement missions here in Minneapolis. So as far as what you're saying with that particular individual, you'll have to be more specific because I didn't detain a 5-year-old. And we're going to continue with that law enforcement mission. Oftentimes you will see violent illegal aliens that perhaps do have families. And those violent, criminal, illegal aliens are going to be arrested. I've got no qualms about making America a safer place when we arrest those illegal aliens.
So Liam Ramos,
go ahead.
Commander.
So he did not arrest or. Okay. So he doesn't know. Is that what he's saying? I guess he's saying he doesn't know. And yet and still, look, it's not the only child. We have video of another child they're detaining in Minnesota. This is a longer one, and I want you to watch.
No! No! Stop! Stop! No! What is your name? What is your name?
Do you have a warrant for this arrest?
Do you have a
warrant?
Yo soy legal.
Keep blowing your whistle. What is your phone number?
Oh my God. Get the fuck out of here. Come on, man. Show your fucking face. Bitch ass pussy.
Behind your back for the rest of your fucking life.
A child. A child.
So just turn it down a little bit, Andy. Now, according to some of the folks who are in the chat, they're saying that this kid was an American citizen. I don't know that. I probably should have done more research, but let me know if producers, if you know. But and how, like, is this kid dangerous? Is this kid the worst of the worst? Like, what is happening here? That's why I'm saying it's yes, angry, and this is cruelty. You should be angry. This is cruelty, and that is the point. And we have people who are in office who don't care, who somehow have lost their humanity, if they've ever had it. It makes me wonder if they've ever had it, because all they want to do is be mean and snarky and get revenge, take revenge on people. And you know what? That makes me, well, that's what Donald Trump is. So these birds of a feather, we should not be surprised that these birds of a feather are flocking together right now. We should not be surprised that ICE is pepper spraying people, or at least putting something as they are on the ground already. In any other administration, these officers would have been prosecuted, and they might be after this. If there is a 2026 election, ICE detains a child in Minnesota. Is this a different child? No, that's the same child. Eric Swalwell is saying that ICE should be abolished.
I don't think anyone likes or wants what ICE is doing right now. We were told the most violent individuals would be deported. Again, a child, U.S. citizen, battling stage 4 cancer, deported. Once you shoot a mom in the face 3 times who has Stuffies in her glove compartment and Cheerios, not a weapon, not a knife, you shot her in the face 3 times and you claim that you were justified, forget it. No one asked for this, and ICE as it exists today needs to be completely dismantled.
Wow. He says, abolish ICE, dismantle ICE. Now, remember when I told you that, and I remember this time because sometimes I forget things when I talk about it earlier, that I was going to give you the proof that these are unserious people and that they have no credibility and that cruelty is the point. This is, I want to show you, and I showed you this a little bit yesterday, but this is a real picture of Nikema Levy Armstrong, the organizer of the pull up protests. So that is it's not her mugshot. I'm sorry, it's not a mugshot. This is a shot of her being detained or arrested, okay? And then there is the fake one that was put out by the White House where they have her crying, and then the White House responded by saying, you know, whatever, haha, too bad, blah, 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 blah. And so that's how you know that they're not serious, because I think didn't Caroline Levitt or someone else talk about this as well or repost it? But then, so that's the original. So that shows you that they are not serious, that they're cruel and they're inhumane. Just like they say Donald Trump, you know, deserves equal treatment under the law. So do these protesters. Donald Trump was allowed to turn his fat orange butt in himself. No one came and got him and with handcuffs and pictures, and he wasn't president at the time, so they could have. But this is the point, because they want that picture and they want to embarrass her. Some of the most dangerous criminals and people who are accused of committing horrible acts are allowed to turn themselves in. They don't want that, because this is what they want, because they want to be cruel and they want to show that this picture to their base. These are not Christians. These are not God-fearing people. These people are inhumane because, again, just like Donald Trump has a right to due process, so does this woman, and a right to her dignity, so does this woman. And so did the protesters. This picture, as always, with something with them, because they are just not, as I said, serious people, and they don't appear to be that bright. This picture could undermine their whole case against this woman, Erin Parnas.
We have some serious news that you need to know about. The White House has just been caught doctoring a photo of a protester that Department of Justice officials have arrested and charged, one of the protesters at that Minneapolis church. Her name is Nikema Levy Armstrong. And, well, this doctoring everyone needs to see because it is extremely prejudicial for her court case. This is the image posted by Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. That is Nikema Levy Armstrong being arrested by what appears to be a federal agent. Now look at this image posted by the White House. In this image, she is seemingly crying. But that image posted by the White House is the exact image posted by Noem, only doctoring her face. Presumably they use some type of AI-generated content or whatever to do this. This is going to be brought up immediately in her criminal case, 100%. And her attorneys are 100% going to be arguing that the White House is actively prejudicing her by posting doctored images on their social media accounts for millions of people to see. You need to see this too. So spread the word and follow for more.
That's all I have to say. If you want to, we haven't had any merch photos lately, have we? Do we have any Lemonheads, Lemonation? We just haven't looked for them. We've been so busy.
Yeah, there's been a lot of emails coming in.
To the Don Lemon Show. All right, everyone. If you want to know about the Don Lemon Show, anything you want to know about us, you can go to donlemon.com. Go to donlemon.com, and it's right at the top of the page. It gives you just explicit, easy, simple instructions on how to vote for us for the NAACP Image Awards. All you have to do is just follow the example there. Go from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5. Okay, it's very easy, and then submit your thing at 5. So thank you for that. Also on February 3rd and 4th, same thing. This is all at donlemon.com. You can go to the top of the page as well. And D.L. Hughley and I are going to be at City Winery February 3rd, and then also on February 4th, Atlanta, 17th and 18th sold out. And then we're going to announce our other tour dates around the country soon. Okay, so appreciate you watching today. I hope you're informed. I hope I didn't depress you too much, but you got to stand up for something. I was going to say before we lose our democracy, but have we lost it already? Happy Friday. Big snowstorm is coming here in the Northeast. Well, actually, more than the Northeast. My family's going to get it down in Louisiana as well. It's going across a big patch of the country. So thank you for watching. Be informed without being inundated until I see you back here at 5 p.m. Eastern time here on the Don Lemon Show on the Don Lemon channel. Get out and try to enjoy. If you have, winter Fridays, maybe some of you have Fridays off or you don't have to go into the office. But until I see you then, turn the TV off. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a show. We're live every weekday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern time with new clips dropping at 2 p. and 8 p. And if you want even more Don Lemon Show content, join the Lemon community. Members get exclusive posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and live chats just for you. So hit the join button or visit our channel page to sign up. Thanks again for all your love and your support, and I'll see you next time.